Okay.
All
Good.
right.
Okay, good.
Ladies, thank you for attending our Marketing Academy this weekend. Our first session is going to be with the lovely Anne Bureau, and she's going to talk to us about all things Meetup.
Mhm.
Anne, if you wouldn't mind telling us just a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into it.
Okay, very good. Well, I've been a member of Harmony Incorporated since 1986, and I'm a lifetime member. The organization has, given me so much as it has to many people around the table here. So it just keeps giving every year. Every time something we turn another corner, there seems to be another whole basket of giving. Anyway, I've been involved in, of course, singing with a chorus, performance things, and I've been a music judge since 2005. I was also in an international championship quartet called Spectrum in 1993 when I was very young. I think I was just born, as a matter of fact. And started directing probably early 2000s, late 19, yeah, in 1998, something like that. As I moved from Halifax to Toronto, started directing men's chorus. And then I directed the Sweet Adelines chorus. And then I moved to Pennsylvania and started directing a men's chorus, a local men's chorus. And then in 2006, I founded the Liberty Bells. And as things went on, and you want to get new members, and all of a sudden, the this meetup, and maybe this is good to just go right into it now, Melinda, right? So we were always looking for things, new ways to get members. 70%, the percentage of members who bring in new members was as high as 70%. That was based on data that they had accumulated, or organizations, I should say, had accumulated. And so when you think of it, 70% of your members, sorry, your members bring in 70% of new members who come through the door and become members eventually. So that you rely really heavily on your members to bring in people that way. So as I've been in marketing all my life, because I graduated in oh gosh, I don't even want to tell you what year I graduated, in marketing and business, and so marketing is kind of in my blood. And so when I look at our businesses, and I call them businesses. I call our choruses businesses. I don't call them a chorus. Don't call them nonprofit, or a hobby. In this case, on the admin side, on the marketing side, I call them businesses. And businesses there's two functions to a business. You have money coming in and you have money going out. You have clients as well, because if you don't have clients, you don't have money coming in. Um, and so to make it happen, you have to sell something. And what we're selling as a business, as our organization, is we're selling the joy of getting together and singing and spending time together and growing. That's pretty simple, right? And you may have some variations of that in between. So how do I get more clients to come through the door? Because if my membership dries up, my business doesn't exist anymore. And so back in 2001, matter of fact, September 11th, 9/11, created a group of people who wanted to get together post Twin Towers, right? When the Twin Towers were hit and the nation was under duress, people needed to get together because a lot of people were missing. So they created MeetUp. And that's where it comes from. And so the whole premise was to put meetings, meetup places where people could go and meet physically, and it would be advertised through this service. And so I didn't know that until maybe 3 or 4 years into using Meetup, but the history of Meetup is on there as well, which is great. Another thing that these people have developed, not only the history is on there, but also a how-to is on there. You have a ton of videos on Meetup, that instructional videos, how to use this, what makes it tick, what makes you successful, what makes you not successful. And I have to tell you that when I set this account up, I set it up, you can have up to 3 accounts. You can have up to 3 different groups on your Meetup. And I set it up for both the men's chorus, the North Pennsmen, and I set it up for the Liberty Bells. And that was 2015 or 2014, just very early on in the game, maybe 2013 even. I didn't check that, but it's around that time. And so 2 things happen. One is that the fee, we split between the 2 choruses, which is really cool because it's 125, 130, whatever the cost is, but we split it between the 2 choruses. And interestingly enough, we're in the same area. We have pretty well the same verbiage on both of our sites, but the men don't get as many hits as the women do. So the Liberty Bells have been very, very successful over the last few years at getting dozens of people in the door on a yearly basis, and also being very successful at recruiting through Meetup. Meanwhile, the guys, we probably recruited, we probably had over the same period, a fraction of that, maybe 10% of the folks who clicked onto that. Oh, I don't like myself highlighted. Remove spotlight, thank you. Oh, I'm just going to go back to my gallery. I like my gallery better. Thank you. Anyway, so they probably had 10% of what the girls had. And I'll bring up some stats in a minute if you want, details. But bottom line is, we don't know if it's because it's men or if it's because it's the area. Because some of the men's choruses in our district are using Meetup, and very, very successful of their recruiting people. So we don't know if it's just this area here that is maybe guys think, no, I'm not going to go to a guys thing. Although the North Pennsmen have been super successful since 1962. When they formed, they had up to 60 members, 65 members on a regular basis, and you didn't have to advertise. People kept flooding in all the time. So it's not the organization itself, but maybe where you are. So I'm just going to put up a word of caution. It's not an all end all. This may work in your area and it may not work in your area. So let me, okay, questions up to now, please. Hands up? No? Okay. I just want to let you know as well, I'm in terrible amount of pain right now because I have a rotator cuff injury, and I'm trying to suck it up and try to focus. So if I don't seem focused and right on, that is because of the level of pain that I'm having right now. But that's okay. We're good. We're good. As long as I don't have to travel, I'm fine. Good thing about Zoom. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to choose this one here, which is my Liberty Bells. So if you look on the Liberty Bells Meetup page, and I'm trying to use, it's on my right hand, so I'm trying to use my left hand to navigate with my mouse. That's funny. There. Oh, shoot. I didn't want to do that. Okay, good. There. All right. So you'll see here that you have all kinds of things. First is what you call yourselves. So we decided here to call ourselves Female A Cappella, the Liberty Bells Chorus Lansdale. And when you get into the meat and potatoes of it, then you'll see that it is a barbershop group. But for now, what we want to do is we want to advertise ourselves as a female a cappella group. And that has been successful, really to a great, great point. On here is where I set up my other account. And that's with the North Pennsmen. So the North Pennsmen, I've been playing around with it more. I've been changing things around. So I call it Sing. Men's a cappella ensemble, North Pensman, Lansdale, PA. And I've been trying to change some of this verbiage as well to attract more members, to attract more people to this. A fun thing here, there's a young guy, even though the majority of our guys, the average age is probably 65. There's a young guy on here saying it's back in the swing, time to sing, right? So you make it fun and you direct it towards who you want as your audience. So if I wanted to have, let's say for the Liberty Bells, if I wanted to attract everybody, all singers over 50 years old, then I would advertise it somewhere there. Female a cappella, I would probably hear. Although a lot of, you have a good mix of people. But if I wanted to only attract 50-year-old and more, then I would have a picture here that would reflect something that's a little bit more mature or 55 plus, let's put it that way. Questions up to now? Anybody? No? Okay. I'm just going to make this view here a little bit wider. Gosh, I have trouble navigating again with my left hand. There you go. Bring this bigger. So what are the type of questions? What are the type of things that you want? How many people here first currently use MeetUp? Hands up. Okay, so most of you are using MeetUp right now. So what are your biggest challenges with MeetUp, or what are the kind of things that you're wondering about, the secret sauce of MeetUp? Please share that with me. Debbie?
I'm going to say that MeetUp keeps changing things around, and trying to navigate around the site is sometimes a nightmare. Like I tried to hand off, I was the organizer and I tried to hand it off to Sue, and just between the two of us, it was just a freaking nightmare. So they're not making it as easy as they were at the beginning. It hasn't discouraged us, but it's just an observation.
What are the kind of things that they change that you've seen?
We're trying to change the organizers and stuff like that. Trying to find these links is just not very intuitive.
Yeah, I noticed one thing, I noticed one thing with managed groups. For example, if I wanted to, which is an important thing here to do, and I'll just point out a couple of really important things that I've been doing, and then I'll comment on your comment there, Deb. So when you have attendees going to an event, so the next event here is March 7th, which is next Monday. My gosh, is it really already? And we have 17 attendees, but that I have to do manually, of course, right? Because your attendees or your members here, and the way to get your members, what we've done is just, I asked, can you guys, sign up on this MeetUp thing? And I don't want everybody to sign up because I have a cheap account, which only accepts up to 50 members. And right now I'm at 43. So what I'll do eventually is go through my list. And for the ones who, are not coming, or I've reached out to them, 5 times, 2021, I probably wouldn't take her off, but I would just go here and go change, remove from group, bingo. And I have another free space. But what I do is I go into, just go back here. Ding, ding, there we go. I go to my event and I manage, and this is one of the things they did change. It used to be a lot simpler. You would manage the attendees and you would be able to go down the list. And let's say if I wanted to go into my Bs, and here I've got them, these people are all going, but I would just put a check mark. I go check mark, check mark, check mark. And now what you have to do is you have to go individually to each one and say, okay, not going, move to going, blah, blah. And then you click, blah, and then it goes back to this. And then you have to do it one after the other. So yes, absolutely, Debbie, they have changed things that make it a little bit more difficult to navigate. One of the things I found with them, though, is they're, even though they have grown and they have a lot more customers and clients, they're still open to suggestions. So I don't know if you've had the opportunity to reach out to them. I have a couple of times, and the response has been very good. So, I mean, there are some live people at the other end that do listen.
I think, speaking for Sue, I think actually she did get a response and then I followed up on it. So I think you're right about that. They are responsive. So
Yeah, they are
it's a
responsive.
pat on the back for them.
Yeah, whether they change what they do depends on probably how many of those complaints, or if it makes sense and you say, well, gee whiz, yeah, we took that off because it was taking too many blah blahs, or not enough people were using it, or whatever. So, but if they have more than one request, then they probably would take a good look at it. What are some of the other, yes, Sue?
Well, I was just going to add to what Debbie was talking about, is that it just in general doesn't seem to be particularly user friendly. And I'm relatively experienced on the computer and can usually do some problem solving myself. But as Debbie used as the example, for me to take over as the organizer, I ultimately did have to call somebody and ask about it. And because it wasn't very clear on our page what to do.
Uh-huh. So are you okay now with it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, we
Okay.
got it straightened out because I made the phone call and actually talked to a person. So that's,
Yeah, as I say, they have a lot of how-tos. They have, I don't know where to locate these things now, blog, apps, careers, help. Yeah, on the help desk, they have a lot of resources there. The
A lot of them seems to run you in circles though, and I think that's what was frustrating for me.
you see.
yeah, crazy too, because Debbie ended up getting I hope you got the refund. Debbie ended up getting the refund and I had to start paying at a different time. Anyway, that was confusing, but we figured it out.
Aha. See, I haven't come across any of that. So for me, Meetup has been, fairly smooth, just straightforward. It just, let me just go back here so that I'm back in my screen. Yeah, when you don't need to use some of that, when you don't have any problems, I guess that's, when you go, oh, okay, yeah, this is a good system. Anybody else have any questions or any experience? Don, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I'm totally unfamiliar with Meetup. I know there's somebody in our course that takes care of it, but let me understand. You're saying that you go through weekly and click on who's going to attend, not asking them individually to come in and do it?
Okay, so
Is
I
that correct?
what I have done in the past is I've asked our members who are there. I'm just going to go back to the main page. I've asked our members and said, if you can go and you can update this yourself, that would be a really big help. But you can't rely on that because sometimes you go from a week to this 17 attendee. That's a big attendance, really. But if you have three attendees or four attendees, and your gals have not gone to click in their attendance, that's just one more thing, because we have a web page that we're using at the Harmony site, and they have to go in there and also put their attendance. So now there's two places. So I've made it streamlined so that I've assigned one person to do this for me. That's all she does. She goes in there and she updates it. And so if you assign someone to do it, then it's easier for you to do it. And what she does, she goes through all of these and she's updated all of these, right? March 14th, whatever. And she is moving away. And she says, look, I just updated everything all through March. Let me just see March. So we have March. Yeah, you see, she went all through March, and then April 4th, we have one attendee. And I have to assign someone else to do it now because she's moving.
Okay, so you're basing, she could do the whole month because she's basing it off of everybody going in on the website and showing that they're going to be attending those days in the month.
Oh yeah, no. So if I know they're a regular member, so I'll go through A, for example, and Angela, there's no members in A. B, I'll go through that. Oh, Bonita, I know she's always there. And whether she's going or not or on vacation, I don't care. and she doesn't really care. And then Becky is there as well. I'll go through B again, and it'll show me all the Bs. I know she won't be there, but Jen will. And if she's not there, that's fine. At least I have my 17 people there, right? So that's what I keep doing. I don't have to ask them, are you going to attend? This doesn't have to be a true list. My goal in this is I want to see attendees. I want to make sure that there's a number attached to it, because like 5 is like, oh, and it's an a cappella group and you're only 5 attendees. Yeah, I don't think I'll go. Right. And so what you want in your goal is to put a good amount of attendees there. Whoops, I'm just going in circles here. Let me just go back up to here. There we go. So that's why you have this. And I do the same with the guys. I'm doing it for the guys, but I do it in advance. Like I do it, when I have a minute, and it takes about 5 minutes to go through the next 6 weeks. Well worth the time. Yes, we have Kim up on top there. Kim.
Yes, thanks. I was just wondering regarding the members of MeetUp. We have several people who have signed up to be members, but they have not attended a meeting at all. Some of them are even out of state. How often do you go through and kind of do a
Angie, I'm just going to. Can you, Angie, here, because I can't hear Melinda.
Somebody needs to mute.
Okay, Kim.
Okay. So how often do you go through your members and purge those who have not been participating?
That's a great question. It all depends on this magic number right here. So this number is 43. It goes up to 49, and then I get a notification saying you can't have any other members unless you want to upgrade, and you're going to pay more. And I go, I don't need to upgrade this because I've been successful at it without upgrading. So what I do is, and I don't know if you guys do this, but the minute I have a notification from someone who says, there's my reminders. There you go. We have Mindy Miller RSVP'd. Well, she, that week, I think it was, she put a note in that she became a member and she wanted to attend. So how did I react to Mindy is really important. So Mindy,
we typically I usually send a message inviting her to actually attend.
That's correct. So exactly. So the message I sent in this case to Mindy, oops, I don't know if I can, oh yes, there it is. So there, I have a whole trail. I said, Mindy, welcome. Please let me know if you can make this Monday. So there's 3 kinds of people who will join MeetUp. There's the people who say that they will be there and they don't show, but they don't answer you, they don't show. Then they're called zeros, right? So you can send them 15 of these messages back and they will never respond back. And those are the ones that you go, okay, so I'll give her another couple of months here and then she's out the door, right? Because she'll never come. And if she's really interested, she'll come back, right? Oddly enough, I'll also go on we're just surrounded by Sweet Adelines. This is Sweet Adeline's territory. There's no other Harmony Incorporated chorus within an hour drive. But there's like at least 10 Sweet Adelines within 30 minutes. So I'll go on like Valley Forge's site and I'll see if that Mindy has gone there and if she's now a member of that chorus, right? Because some of them are, we'll call them meetup sludges, right? They'll sign up for like 5, 6 different choruses because they really don't know what they want and they're just fishing, right? That's why you don't hear from them. Then there's the second type who respond back to you and say, oh yeah, I'll be there, Monday night, 6:30, I'll meet you there. And they never show up. you call them no-shows. So those are no-shows. Now the no-shows, because they have responded to you, you don't, throw them out the door so fast. And then there's the others who do show up, right? They show up, they come, maybe they come once, and then you never hear from them again. So that's, you do your cleansing all based on that cleansing. I mean, I can't find any other word right now. And so Mindy and I corresponded, and then we start at 7 p.m. This was January 0. I'm sorry. It was like early, like the 1st or the 2nd or something. And then she says, we just moved here and we're still getting settled, but I look forward to meeting you. And I go, oh yeah, right. Okay, welcome. Let me know if you're back in the, whatever. So then all of a sudden I reach out again, because I go through the list before I delete them. And then I go, hey, Mindy, welcome to our group. And can you make this evening? And we start at 7. Let me know if you can be there at 6:40. By the way, glad to hear from you again, and hope the move, glad to hear from you again, and hope the move, it went well. Oh yeah, the move in went smoothly. And then she responds and says, thanks, I'm headed out tonight, so I should be there around 6:45. So that I know now, she's telling me that she's on her way, which is great. On the other hand, if I go to Fernando, Fernando told us that day, and I respond really quickly. So that was probably that day that he came. I say, hi, Fernando. We're back singing together and having a great time. Please let me know if you're interested in dropping by for a visit. Crickets. Fernando did not answer. I go to Joel Keeley, same thing. Oh, by the way, I'm a little more persistent with this guy. So it started in November 2019, and it went on and it went on until February 2022. And I just kicked Joel out because I didn't hear from him at all. And I don't want to, because every one of these people, you never know when they will turn. But, if they don't answer you, if they don't have, they've signed up to be on your meetup, and see all these people, like, look at all of them. These are all folks that are non-members that have at one point, and some of them have become members. Some of them have become members, and they're still there. Judy Kramer, she's now a member. So I keep records as well as how did they come to Chorus, and I can tell you exactly how many people have come through MeetUp and have become members as well. So that's what I do. And then when it comes time to doing my triage, one more. Oh no, this is messages. Then I'll go to this. I'll go to this, and then I'll go down my list. And I'll also, there's another thing that tells me how long they haven't even looked at this, is here, joined October 2019, visited the group over a year ago. It's time for me to get rid of Tori. Time for me to say bye-bye, Tori, but I haven't quite done this one because she's young, she sings, she had a la, 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 la. I don't want to sever the ties too quickly in case Tori comes back. And then there's Michelle here, which I know she visited the group over a year ago. I need to sever ties here. But there are some of them that came maybe for a visit. I don't want to cut her off, for example, because she came for one visit. She might come again. She's never visited, Stephanie, but she did, at least she responded back to me. And so there's a reason why you do, all of a sudden take some of these members off. I don't take too many of them off so that I still show a healthy number of members. Over here, I have 43 members. So they look at it and they go, wow, okay, so that's pretty good. And the attendance is 17 people. So that's pretty good too. That looks like a healthy club. If I go to Valley Forge, they've got like 375. They paid for the higher deal, but they have all these people that don't go to the rehearsal. They're not even, the same thing as what I'm going through. They never respond. Sue, I think there was somebody else that had their hand up as well before.
I have two questions, Anne. On the screen that we're looking at right now,
Yeah.
How is it that you have visited group this week?
Okay, so when I go to my all members, that's where I start. That's where I started from. Wait a second. I've got to go back to this. and then all members. See right here? So when you open see all, then it lists each one of them. You don't have this at the bottom of yours?
I don't remember seeing it. How does MeetUp know that they came to a rehearsal?
Oh, no, visited the group. Visited this site, right? They visited. In other words, they were sniffing around maybe, 3 months ago. I want to see if they're sniffing around. So Rachel, of course, she just became a new member and she visited the group over a week ago. Of course she did, right? Because it's fresh.
Yeah.
Joined in 2021. Yeah. And
Well,
then go ahead.
I pretty much cleanse them the same way you did. There are some people, because of the conversations going back and forth on MeetUp, I realize I want to keep them on there various reasons. But after a while, they're out. Then the other question I had is 2 screens ago where you had the names on the left side of your screen.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, the options are to leave them there or archive. I want to get rid of some people in that column, in that list. Do you remember that page that I'm talking about where the name all over on the left?
Yeah, were you talking about the messages, the message page?
Yes.
Okay, so if I go back to the message page,
Yes.
that page there.
Yes.
Right?
Can I get people gone from can I take people off of that list?
Well, let's see. There's a little 3 dots. Go for the archive. Bingo.
That's the only way? Okay. So they have to go to the
yeah.
archive.
So
All
let's say you had a conversation with Fernando and a year ago you deleted him. Well, I don't want to see Fernando's name there anymore, so you just archive him.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if there was a way I could just get him out of there, but that's okay. I'll continue to archive. Thanks. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get them out of there by going to the members center, that member center I just had, right? This one here, and that's
Okay.
where you.
I didn't think they came off of the message thing. I'll double check that.
Yeah, and if they don't, just archive it. Who cares? You're never looking at archives anyway, right?
Yeah, I just don't want too many names in that column when I'm going through when I'm reviewing my messages too.
Yes, of course. Yeah, and then archiving, it would probably send it to another file that you would, it would be just buried there somewhere. It wouldn't show up on your list.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I've never archived, so thank you for the tip. We're all learning here. Now, somebody else had their hand up too. Who was that? I don't see anybody else. Donna, did you have your hand up again, or Peg?
I think Angie had her hand up at one time, but maybe it was an accident.
Well, I just thought of something else.
Sure. Yep.
Some of our members aren't even on MeetUp. They didn't join us through MeetUp, so they're not even there. So I have to ask them, I guess, to join us on MeetUp so that they can do all of this attendance MeetUp.
It depends. I don't ask any of my members to join this. I don't. I asked them at the beginning when I created the account because I wanted some bodies there, right? But now that I have, and the reason why is I'm maxed at 50, and I'm too cheap to pay for the higher one. I don't need to pay more money for this. This is serving all of what I need to do with the few dollars that I am giving them. So that's why I tell my members, I even feel like taking off some of my current members and just deleting them, because now what's happening is the new MeetUp people who've been there, they're becoming members and they're staying on there. So I'd rather take off older members that joined originally and just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to take you off. It's just because it's an admin thing. Don't feel like I'm kicking you out or anything.
Okay, well, we don't have that issue right now, but hopefully we'll have that problem sometime.
Yeah, exactly. What you want to start with a good solid number. Like if you can have 15 to 20 people, even 15 people to join, then at least you have a core of folks that you can show there are 15 people attending this week and next week and the week after and the week after, right? And you just click them in, regardless if they can make it or not, you just click them as yes attending.
Okay. All right, thank you.
No, you're welcome. I hope that helps. Anybody else? See, so responding in a really quick fashion to any new inquiries, which the inquiries you get here. And when you receive them, you should be receiving them via email. And I think a big impact on this is that you respond as quickly as you receive it. Some of us maybe don't get to our email as often as we should, or we get to it maybe once every second day or once a day. But when you get that notification, please go in and right away respond back, because that will make a big impact as well. What are 5 effective keywords to use? You mean in the message, or do you mean on the, do you mean in the message? When people are searching for you? Yes. Well, I have more than 5. Matter of fact, let's see here. Let's see. Keywords. That's going to be in my, hang on. They have, yeah, you just check off. I check off everything that has to do with manage group. There you go. Edit group settings, manage your profile, member profile. So I check off everything that has to do with singing, a cappella, female singers, and they're also adding more. I see that there's some new, is that what you mean, Amy? Is that what you mean? That by
Yes, that's exactly what I mean, Anne. Thanks
Okay,
so much.
perfect.
When people are looking, like, because you want to, like you've talked about before, that you want to invite great singers, and so what kinds of descriptors? I know there's keywords in MeetUp,
Yep.
and it's all new to me because we aren't using MeetUp yet, but we certainly are looking into it.
So here are the ones that I checked off: barbershop chorus, women's barbershop chorus, vocal harmonies, women's 4-part a cappella, women's chorus a cappella, singing, choir, group singing, women's a cappella singing. Don't see what you're looking for? Suggest a topic here. Wow. Here's suggested topic: vocal workshops. We're not a workshop. Vocal, but not a workshop. Singing for beginners. We're not singing for beginners. Maybe there's another chorus. Maybe your chorus is that way. We're not. We passed that point. We used to be. You have a pulse. Yes, you can come. So singing for beginners, songwriting. No. Barbershop quartet. I want
to jump in with you real quick here. You see where underneath there it says Sweet Adelines. Because we have a lot of the same tags on our meetups right now, but where it says Sweet Adelines, I've suggested the topic of Harmony Incorporated 5 times.
Five
times.
If we are all the ones who have an account, I'm going to do that right now. But if all of us here make that suggestion, maybe they'll get the idea. I'm doing it right now. So there. So search for a topic. Don't see the topic? Suggest a topic here. Oh, so what did you say? Harmony Incorporated?
Yeah, I've tried to get Harmony Incorporated on there a couple of times. I've tried it different ways without the comma after Harmony. I've also just tried Harmony Inc., but it's never been accepted.
Email for your meetup option if you want us to let you know where your top is added to our system. That, if we all do it and they get about, whatever we are here, if there's 10 of them, they get 10 responses, all of a sudden, bingo. Edit your response. No, thank you very much. There you go. So, and you got that right here. And this is, just go back a little bit. Then you go for basic information. and back to group settings. So you go to group settings, you go to basic information, and you scroll down to the bottom. And how you get to that is you get to manage my group, right? Manage my group, edit group settings, and then basic information. And then you go to the scroll to the bottom and suggest a new topic, click here. Bingo. Wow. Thank you for mentioning that, Linda.
Absolutely. Maybe it'll happen this time. I just submitted it again too.
Well, again, it's one of those things that if they receive one request, they'll probably go, yeah, right. But now they'll have my response, they'll have yours again, they'll have maybe another 6 or 7 of us here who just did that. And so I checked off all of these, and I will check off Harmony Incorporated whenever that is as well. Musicians, no, not really. Artists, no. Vocal training, I could do that, but then I get people who are not singers, and I really want to make sure that I do get singers, and I keep it to that. I could always put that there and then just say, oh yeah, vocal training, we do that, but we start with people who at least know how to sing, right? Oh, I love that. We all are learning here today. So thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that, Melinda. Anything else that anyone has to, wants to see, wants to know about?
I have a question and something that we can talk about. I know I got a lot of questions when I suggested we have this class on how do we describe ourselves? Like I see you have We Are Singing. This is a female a cappella, you know, blah, blah, blah. What are some good descriptors we can use to get attention once they find us?
Once they find you? So here's what we're all about.
As far as the content of your page.
Aha, okay. So what we're all about is the second thing they'll look for, right? So they'll see this first. They'll see the picture. Nice, colorful, it's fun. Got fun that you go into other photos, you'll see a lot more fun stuff. But what we're all about, okay, so what's this group anyway? Never heard of them. No, let me read more. Do you love to sing? Did you sing in high school or college and have been searching for a good quality local female a cappella ensemble? Oh my gosh, how many kids are high school in choirs? Like around here, we have every big high school. North Penn High School is huge. Souderton High School is huge. And we also, North Pennsmen, have been inviting each one of those choirs to our Christmas show to sing a little tidbit on the Christmas show, which brings me to something else. If you invite those high school choirs, they will know about you and be ready when they come out of high school or college. Then when they do this search, they will see that. So do you love to sing? Did you sing in high school or college and have been searching for good quality female a cappella? I could cut and paste this if you'd like and put it in the chat. Do you want to do that? Because then you can cut and paste it and save it. I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, sure.
This is, I basically, I crafted this from a point of view of, there we go, copy. And I'm going to just, from the point of view that taste. Yeah, I think it's there now. I always do things from the customer's point of view. What's the customer looking for? If they know that it's clear that we're a female a cappella chorus and we're Lansdale, Pennsylvania. I live like 30 minutes away and I like to sing. A cappella means it's no instruments, but I did that in high school. Okay, let me see what they're all about. So I want to know, is this going to be exciting for me? Is this going to be what I'm looking for? Did you sing in high school or college? Yeah, I did. Matter of fact, I've been searching for good quality. Yeah, and the only thing they have is my church down the road, which they really don't sing really well. You've come to the right place. You have a strong community-based female a cappella group who sing barbershop style. Oh, barbershop. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard of barbershop, but I never sang it. We're looking for singers who perform in and around Lansdale, Montco. We belong to an international organization called blah, blah, and compete twice at blah, blah. We thrive for excellence in everything we do. What brings us together is our passion for music and singing. Ha! Wow, that's a group for me because I like both of those things. So we invite you to come and unleash your passion. So those are the kind of words that you want to use, something fantastic, something like, man, have you been waiting for this all your life? Well, come and sing with us. So that's part of what they do. Once they see this, then they read this. And then they can go on and go to the event itself and know, well, what do you guys do? Like, am I just going to show up and kind of like, well, there's no better time than to join our singing ensemble, get singing, feel healthy and happy. Now, I changed that verbiage since we loosened up, since COVID, basically, because people today, there's a pent up demand for getting out and singing. There's a lot of choirs and ensembles that have just dissolved since COVID. They're not getting back together. There was an ensemble here called Zion Ensemble. They had 250 singers that gathered once a year in October. They learned 6 songs together. It was a mixed group. We have a couple of our members who are members of that. And they would perform maybe 2 or 3 performances in the area here. And so they have not got back together. They didn't even do Zoom. They didn't stay connected. That's it. And so 2 years in a row that's happened. Let me see, 2 years, that's a 19, yeah, 20, 21. They didn't get together last fall. And I haven't heard a peep about them getting together this year again. So that's 250 singers in my community that don't have a place to go. Well, maybe 245 because 5 of them belong to our choruses. But still, it's just like, wow, there's going to be a lot of people out there. And how many other ensembles did the same thing? They just gave up and they went, yep, yeah, that's it. We're hanging up our skates, right? So there is a pent up demand. And if you do it right, you'll have people singing. And that's why I started it off with get singing, feel healthy, and feel happy. Sign up and plan to be there early, and we'll provide you with what you need to get started for the evening. So this is what do I expect from going there? I don't want to waste my time. You don't want to waste people's time. You want to make sure that they know exactly what they're going to do. Get to know our members who are passionate about singing. Oh, I'm passionate about singing. I love it. I sing everywhere. And we as we all prepare songs for our future performances. Performances? You mean you do perform? Like, wow. Here's a little about who we are and what we do. And then I go through what we do, who we are. We're 40 singers. We meet at 7 p.m. We practice good vocal warm-up and vocal craft. Great place to learn how to improve your singing skills, which is a really key one because we used to use, do you sing? Do you like to sing? Do you like to sing? Not, are you a singer? But you like to sing. So we would get, yeah, I love to sing, but then they couldn't carry a tune if you paid them. Right. And that's unfortunate. It was our error. We were advertising for the wrong thing because then we had to tell them, sorry, so we started making it very clear that we're looking for singers, not people who like to sing. Singers, really important in your marketing to determine that. Now, if you want to bring in people who you want to teach from scratch, that's a whole different story. That's in my next class. Place to learn how to improve your singing skills, become that performer you always wanted to be. Wow, I did that in high school. I loved it. We spent the evening perfecting our repertoire songs, learning cool new songs, not boring old pieces of whatever, right? And spend the evening perfecting and working in some of our visual performance skills. We love promoting quartet singing. Oh, I was in a quartet when I was in high school. New guests are invited to sing with us during our rehearsal, starting the very first night. Oh my gosh, you mean I don't just sit and listen. Now, when they get there, we make it clear that if they don't feel comfortable singing with us or being around, well, nobody wants to just sit there and watch, but the odd person, a little bit shy, they don't want to participate. So we give them the option. As we give them the option just to be looking through the music and standing with us and listening around them. So there you go. Angie, thanks for the great question.
One more thing to add to that. Do you change your content in there very often?
Oh, that's a
Like,
great
do
question.
you often change pictures or do you add videos or what do you?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. So I just modified this a little bit, changed a couple of little things like this, for example, I changed early on in the year because I thought, okay, now people really want to get out and they start, they're like cabin fever galore. They want to feel good. A lot of people feel down, depressed. They need to build up their confidence again and being around people. So I changed the verbiage on this early in the year. And I changed the one on the North Pensman just last week to match more of what the Liberty Bells. I just cut and pasted the Liberty Bells one because it said all kinds of other things and it was dated. So this stuff, check it on a regular basis. Just read it as if you're a new customer going in and looking at this and going, does this make sense? Is this going to attract the people that we want? Because we change as well as a chorus, right? So we want to attract a certain community of folks. They, people who want to belong to the organization, but also people who will be able to feel comfortable. And it goes both ways. Our members feel comfortable. Everybody feels comfortable. So I keep looking at this periodically, like maybe every couple of months. If something changes in what we're doing, sometimes I'll say, for example, if we're taking a couple of weeks off, I'll change these next few ones here. Let's say this week we're taking off. I'm just going to change the header here to something like, we're off this week. We're not rehearsing this week, instead of canceling it all out. And then I'll take off all the attendees. I make sure that there's no attendees, and I'll just say we're just this week we are on vacation or something. If it's around Christmas time, we usually take 3 weeks. So I won't even put an event there for those 3 weeks. And again, update pictures. This we updated about, live rehearsals. I think we updated last August. Could have been in August because we were starting to get together in July, June, could have been June. I can't remember if this was from last year or early this year. But you want this to be exciting and you want this to be up to date. You don't want them to go there and feel that all the information on here was posted 3 years ago. Sometimes you go to a website and you go, that's not right. That we just won the 2019 award for blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you just won the 2019? That doesn't make sense. Right? So make sure that if you have any dated information, especially, that you update that. Does that answer your question? Thanks again for the nice, for the good pointers there, Angie.
I do see one more question that was up in the chat earlier before you joined, and it says, is there a way to share our meetup page with other meetup groups that might be interested but don't know it?
You mean like if you find a meetup group that does knitting or something?
Well, I was the one that posted that, Ann, and I was just like, sometimes you see people that are interested in doing karaoke. It's a karaoke group or something like that. And granted, you're not going to get everybody out of there, but if you could fish one or two, that might be good prospects. Is there a way to do that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So as we get emails or we get messages from folks, you could message any other organization and just cut and paste your browser here, your page, and just cut and paste that and then send it with your message to them. I mean, there's
Okay, so it would go to their admin who would share it?
That's right. Or
okay.
not.
Okay. All right.
So,
I just sometimes you see if you're looking or poking around in other groups, it's like, that could be somebody that might be interested in the group, but they don't know about it. And
Oh,
that's what's we're up. We always run into that.
absolutely. And this thing protects us from everybody kind of throwing all kinds of stuff to all our members and say, hey, you want to join a dark group, blah, blah, blah. So that's why it goes through the admin, and then the admin could decide, hey, this is something great. I'll share it with all our members, but send a message to the admin with the link to the page. And
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. I see, some benefit. I don't know, depending on what the group is. Absolutely. Does that help? We're approaching our witching hour of 1. So,
I have a question.
yes, Kim.
So I would like to know how you would approach a member, someone who joins MeetUp, and you don't know if they're a man or a woman.
Okay.
We actually we had a man join MeetUp once.
Okay.
And I don't remember what I said to him, but I did say, I think I just said point blank, we are a women's a cappella course. And then I told him about Stone Mountain Men's Chorus and made a suggestion that perhaps he would be interested in that. I just looked at a member who doesn't have a picture, and the name is ASAI, Asai. And I have no clue. I don't know. Is this a man or is this a woman?
I can actually answer that question real quick, Kim. She visited us on Zoom. She joined because of our new member, Aaron. But continue with your question because it's still a good question.
Oh, absolutely. And the way I handle it, because on the men's site, if you can imagine, some of the new members they have been quite hot and zesty, and their pictures have been quite hot and zesty too. Hi, I'd like to join, and it's like, and the minute that I see that, I delete it, of course. I don't even message them back. I just go, I do. I mean,
gosh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, these are junk responders, right? I mean, they see, ooh, all male. Oh, good, I can show my boobies, whatever. And so they post this picture of them and say, yeah, I'm there for a good time, kind of thing. And so that has happened maybe, I don't know, a good half dozen times over the last 5 years. And which is really not a lot, because it could be a lot more if they really wanted to spoil the show. Sometimes I feel that some of these names that do come up with a picture, because you can have whatever name you want. I could call myself Susie Q. I can put a picture of a dog up there, and you wouldn't know if I'm a male, female, or a dog. And I mean, the picture of the dog is there, but it's like, who's behind there? So I go, okay, and I reach out, I message.
Do you just have a standard response, like something very standard that you say to pretty much everyone, like first go round, welcome, this is when we're meeting, you know what I mean? So that then you don't have to worry.
Absolutely. If you read most of my replies to people, the first one I reach out to is, if I, where am I going to go for this? Okay, see all, and I'm going to go to one of my Rachel is a great one, because, here, message. Okay, so Mindy. So the first thing I do is welcome. Please let me know if you can make it this Monday night, because they didn't only sign up, they became a member. Oh, okay. And Fernando, same thing. It's like, Fernando, we're now back singing together. Have a great time, and please let me know if you're interested in dropping by. Rod, greetings, Rod. If you're still interested, this is old. One of our virtual rehearsals. Oh, because we were still virtual at the time. Just received this notification. If you're a singer and interested in checking us out, please let me know, and I can provide you with more details. And this guy never responded back. So I'm thinking, this Chris, is he is he fiction? Does he really exist? Or is this somebody just fishing around? And so that's the standard response. Greetings, Scott. I'm glad you found us. If you have a passion for singing, I use some of the verbiage that I do on the site. We meet at 7. We'll be there tonight, if it's a Tuesday or whatever, and then just use that same thing. And then they'll either respond or they won't. And but if it's blatant that I wonder if I can pull one up. No, I would have deleted it, but some of these people that we've had. But you see, these are all like, they all look legit, right? There's M. Well, it just so happens I know the guy, and he's come to one of our rehearsals or 2 of our rehearsals, and we know that he should not be returning, but he calls himself M, right? So you do have to look at these things. And
Yeah. Sue had
There's-
her hand up.
yep,
Yeah. Well, I do this. I can't remember who said this before. I don't remember the name, but I do the same thing. When I know that it's a man, I say, thank you for reaching out, but we are an all women's chorus, and please get in touch with, and then I give them the address. But if you don't know, and I think maybe that's happened to me only twice, my response is, thank you for reaching. I always say thank you for reaching out to Coastal Voices, but in that case, I say thank you for reaching out to our women's only Coastal Voices chorus, so that if they didn't pick up on the fact in the first place that it's women's, because they maybe didn't read the whole screen or whatever, then I'm reminding them a second time, thank you for joining our women's only or all women's. And then I continue with my normal paragraph of welcoming them, and hopefully they don't respond because they're a guy, or they do respond and say, oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was all women, or but at least that way you can kind of reiterate the fact that you are a women's chorus.
absolutely, absolutely. And anything that you wanted to mention in there, that's great. And see, I always think another thing too, if it is a guy and he shows up, and then I'll just go, oh, how are you? Oh, he saw us on MeetUp. So, all right, well, take a seat and then enjoy the music, And if you wanted to join, if you like this type of music, then Tuesday night is the North Pensman, and tomorrow night, and you can join us at the Central Schwenkfelder, because that's where we rehearse. So I have a really easy out, is that I'm directing both choruses, but if you have a men's chorus in the area, if you know that chorus, just point them in that direction if they do show up. And if they do show up, it's like anybody else, right? I'm showing up here because I thought there was music tonight, right? Anybody else?
And I have one more question.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that that your area is saturated with sweet Adelines. Well, I can vouch, so is Florida. And so I also know, as a 35-year member of Sweet Adelines, past member, they've lost a lot of people over the last 2 years. How do we tap into that without
Poaching?
Yes, you know where I'm going with this, because they're out there by the thousands.
Oh, yeah, I know. And I vowed when I started the Liberty Bells, I said, I am not going to poach Sweet Adelines. I'm not going to poach. And I never did. And there's probably 5 of them that joined the chorus overall that had left. Just beat your drum out there. Say, we're there, we're open, we're running, and I think the word is also getting out, especially if the chapter is a non-interesting or too competitive, or it just doesn't suit them. If you keep beating your drum out there and saying that you are there and you are available, and you go to performances and you advertise and you're on MeetUp, and I always see marketing as being a multifaceted thing. You can't only do one thing and expect people to know who you are. My goal over the last 3 years for both choruses was to become a household name. I want to be the household name. The Philadelphia Orchestra. I don't know if some of you were here, but I was giving a class at one point, and I said, I want to be that household name. Like, for example, Philadelphia Orchestra, everybody knows what that is, even outside Philadelphia. You know what the Philadelphia, why? Have you ever been to see a Philadelphia Orchestra? Have you ever been there? Have you ever paid money to go see them? No. Well, how do you know them then? Well, it's because they have all this advertising, because they do this. That's why, because they have made themselves to become a household name, not because you go see their performances, not because maybe you even have heard them play, but you know of them because of advertising. And it's not a single faceted thing. Marketing is multi layers, multifaceted. And yes, it does cost a lot of money to do that, but it doesn't cost us money to go perform and to be face to face with the public. And, as long as you're putting on a good performance and it's quality stuff, people will love it. And then you make sure that they know what your name is. And I don't want to turn this into a marketing thing, but we just made these pull-up banners, the 6-foot pull-up banners. And I have 2 of them now. We don't have Liberty Bells yet, but I have 2 of them for the men. And wherever we're going to sing in advance, we're going to put one of those up in their lobby, and 2 weeks in advance, to tell them that this is who we are. And everywhere else, like if there's a lobby of a business somewhere that can use this poster and put it up for 3 or 4 weeks, we'll do that too. And get the name in front of people, get your name out there. And the Sweet Adelines that are out there that have been left to the wayside, and this is the punchline, is the people who are out there floating around, including all those high school students, all those college students, and these singers who are looking for a place to hang their hats. Maybe they're not anymore, but maybe they still are, right? Because they still have it in them. Then they'll see the name and they'll go, oh, there is a local chorus, or they're only 20 minutes away, or whatever. So, short of sending a note to, there's no lists of alumni, even, Sweet Adelines alumni. If we could all send a note to the International and say, could you give us a list of your former members, please? Right? We want to do a mailing, just a little one. But you get the drift, right? You can't find any other way, if there's a creative way of doing it without looking like you're, you can't be looking like you're poaching either. We have to be polite about it, and we have to be good about it too, because otherwise you start getting a reputation, and you don't want that reputation. That's my opinion anyway. I mean, that's just me talking. It's the drugs talking. So, anything else? My goodness, I loved all those questions because I learned a lot. Well, that's just something fantastic about these things. We both, if you learned something, I learned something twice. So thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing this, Melinda, and getting us together like this.
Absolutely. Thank you for hanging out with us.
You're welcome.
Yes.
And we will be seeing you very
Soon.
shortly.
We'll be seeing you.
And keep those cards and letters coming. If you have any questions, by the way, just email me.
Yes, and I will share her email address with you in the chat. Were there any other last minute questions before we let Anne continue about her day? Going once? All right.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Great. Thank you, Anne.
Yes,
Thanks, Ann.
thank
Hope your
you.
shoulder heals.
Thank you, everybody, and take care. Have a good Sunday afternoon, okay?
Thank you.
Bye-bye.